thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are new here, my name is Kanessa Carey. On this channel, I talk about mental health, eating disorders, OCD, anxiety, depression, all that kind of stuff. Basically, I make these videos just because I want people to know that they are not alone in their mental health struggles. I have been there. I know what it feels like. I know what that experience is like, and I want other people to know that they can recover, they can have a amazing life despite of all these things. Yeah, so that's why I'm here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. You can do that at the end though if you end up liking it. That just really helps me with the algorithm and getting these videos out to other people so we can just have an amazing community on here. Today we are going to be talking about something that I actually get a lot of questions about on TikTok. If you're not following me over on TikTok, my handle is @livingwithalabel. So go ahead and give me a follow there. We talk about a lot of mental health stuff. I love it. I love you guys over there. It's super awesome. But I actually get a bunch of questions about extreme hunger on TikTok, and I think it's something that a lot of people struggle with and a lot of people experience when they are in their eating disorder recovery. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So first and foremost, what is extreme hunger? So extreme hunger is basically a physiological response that your body has after periods of restriction or extensive dieting or anything of the sort. It's basically your body saying, hey, feed me, please. I have not had enough nutrition. I have not had enough to work with here. So your body is basically giving you these signals and producing the hunger hormone because it needs more food, it needs more fuel, it needs more sustenance, and your body is basically playing catch up. So when you're experiencing extreme hunger, your body is trying to make up for all the restriction that has taken place. So this is something that is very common for people who are beginning their eating disorder recovery journey. Now, I think it's important to mention that not everyone who goes through eating disorder recovery or has been on a diet will experience extreme hunger once they begin recovery or once they're off the diet, but it is something that is also very common. Now, there's also the opposite side of the spectrum where people will not experience hunger cues, and this can also be because you have suppressed your body's signals for so long, so your body has stopped giving you the hunger signal, because if you have been ignoring that signal, your body's just gonna be like, if you're not gonna respond to it, I'm gonna stop giving it to you. So a lot of times, either what can happen is in recovery you will not experience hunger and you might have to go off other cues that your body gives you, such as like mental hunger or other feelings and sensations that your body might give you to let you know that you are hungry or that you need food. Or you can experience the extreme hunger side of things, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Both are very common. I actually have experienced both, so anything that I'm talking about here is going to be from my experience in my eating disorder recovery. So I'm not a dietitian or anything of the sort, so this is just purely my experience and the knowledge that I have gained from working with health professionals and also the experience that I have in dealing with these things. So a question that I often get asked is, what does extreme hunger feel like? So I'm gonna just talk from my experience. For me, extreme hunger was feeling literally so hungry all the time. Here's a good example. I felt like my stomach and my body was a furnace. So picture a furnace. When you throw something in a fire, it just burns and disintegrates. That's what I felt like my body was doing with food. I felt like I would put something into my body, I would put something into my stomach, and immediately after I would feel like I had not eaten. Basically, I just felt like I could not get enough food. I felt like I was hungry all the time. My body was trying to catch up and make up for the loss of nutrients and the healing that needed to take place in my body. Another question that I often get asked is, how long does extreme hunger last? I wish I could answer that question for you, and I wish there was a specific amount of time that it lasted, and I wish it was a very short amount of time, because I know that it can be something that's very distressing for people, which is something that I'll also get to in this video. But extreme hunger is different for everyone. Everyone's experience in their eating disorder, how long they had it, how long they restricted, what type of eating disorder they had, what their body needs to do in order to heal and recover looks different for everyone. So the amount of time that you're going to experience extreme hunger is probably different than someone else who is struggling with the same exact thing. Unfortunately, there is really no set amount of time. Your body is going to keep giving you that signal if it needs to. Honestly, our bodies are pretty cool that way. Your body is designed to tell you what it needs, and it's just something that you have to listen to. Another question that I get asked a lot is, will I experience extreme hunger if I'm weight restored, or why am I experiencing extreme hunger again, or why am I experiencing extreme hunger now that I am weight restored? I think the real topic lies in, what does weight restoration really mean and what does weight restored mean? When we really break down those words, restore means that you're going back to what it was before, but a lot of times people experience their eating disorders over a year or over a couple years or or over a few years, and by that time your body is physiologically supposed to be different. A lot of times people experience eating disorders during their teenage years or during their early adulthood or adulthood years, and a lot of times it's not feasible for your body to go back to exactly where it was, because maybe you were experiencing an eating disorder in your teenage years and now you're in your 20s. Your body is naturally supposed to weigh more and to look different, to be built differently than it did in your early teens or your middle teens or your late teens. So that means sometimes when you are recovering from your eating disorder, simply restoring your weight is not enough. And that can be kind of hard to deal with sometimes, but it's completely okay. Sometimes we need to be mindful of the fact that our bodies are supposed to change and our bodies are supposed to look different as we get older and as we grow. And it's just a normal part of how our bodies grow and mature. It's also important to recognize that simply using a number on the scale and your weight is not going to determine that you are healthy. Your body may have a very different view of what that looks like, and if you have reached that weight where you are restored, that doesn't mean that your body has finished healing, has finished going through the processes, and that also doesn't mean that your body is where it wants to be. Your body might need something more that your weight cannot define. It's okay to still be experiencing extreme hunger, or to just now be experiencing it, or to be experiencing again. That is not abnormal in any way. It is completely okay, and your body is just looking for the nutrients and looking to heal more, and that's completely okay. Your body is doing exactly what it needs to do, and that's just something that we need to trust, even though that it can be very scary and something that can be very hard to deal with at times. Another thing I also want to bring up related to extreme hunger is mental hunger. From my experience and what I've learned, mental hunger is the experience of having thoughts about food, constantly thinking about food, constantly thinking about certain foods, or let's say you're not really feeling physical hunger, but you're thinking about food, or you're thinking about a specific food, or you're really craving something, but you don't necessarily feel that hunger. You're experiencing mental hunger most likely. I think a lot of times, especially in diet culture in the world we live in today, people do not think or do not believe that mental hunger is real hunger. But especially if you are in recovery or your body is not giving you the correct signals physically or whatever that may look like for you, mental hunger is definitely real hunger. It can be your body's way of telling you that it's hungry when your body doesn't have the ability or doesn't trust you enough to send you the physical hunger cues that it once did. A lot of times people will talk about mental hunger and talk about ways to avoid it or to stop it or to get it to go away. But mental hunger honestly should be honored just as much as physical hunger and the hunger that you may feel that can be extreme or just regular hunger on a day-to-day basis. I think mental hunger is also something that people experience a lot if they are restricting certain foods or on a diet or not allowing them to eat certain things. So it can even be when you're constantly thinking about foods that you don't allow yourself to eat or you think that are bad or unhealthy or anything like that. And probably the question that I get most often is, how do I cope or how do I deal with extreme hunger? This might not be the answer that your eating disorder wants to hear, but it's the answer that your body wants to hear and the answer that is going to best help you recover. The best way to heal your body and to respond to the extreme hunger that you are experiencing or the mental hunger that you are experiencing is to simply honor it. And I know that it's not that easy and it's not that simple, but eating disorder recovery means challenging yourself, and this is just another way that you can challenge yourself. The best thing that you can do for your body is to feed it and honor those hunger cues and nourish your body, because your body is doing so much work. Your body is healing bones and muscles and tissues, healing everything that has been affected by your eating disorder. And so it is so important to give your body the nutrients and the things that it needs in order to not only recover mentally, but physically and emotionally. Moral of this whole video is that it is absolutely okay to respond with food and feeding yourself and eating when it comes to extreme hunger and mental hunger. And I also just want to address that I know that it can be distressing. I remember that when I was experiencing extreme hunger, it was very triggering, very anxiety provoking, and something that I really struggled with because I had a really hard time feeling full and I had a really hard time being okay with eating so much food. And I just want you guys to know that it does get better. It does not last forever. It is something that you just have to embrace and can deal with and experience head on, and just really honor your body, because the more that you can honor your body and the more that you can feed yourself during these times when you are experiencing extreme hunger and mental hunger, the quicker your body is going to be able to recover and heal and do what it needs to do to help you be the healthiest version of yourself that you can be. I wish I had like some great tips on like how to cope with it and how to like deal with it, but honestly, one of the things that helped me the most was just talking about it and talking with my treatment team about it, and just really letting people know that it was something that I was really struggling with, and having people in my life that I could just go to and vent to and just try to explain what I was experiencing. But also, sometimes the only thing that you can do, especially in eating disorder recovery, is just like do it even though it's hard. Eat even though it's hard. Honor your body even though it's hard. Do the difficult things, because sometimes that's just what it comes down to. Choosing to recover from your eating disorder is choosing to do the hard things that are not always comfortable, are not always fun, don't always feel the best mentally and physically, but they are what you need to do in order to recover and in order to have a fulfilling life and live the life that you want to live and not be bound to the shackles that your eating disorder had you in beforehand. So yeah, that's just my advice, and I'm sure all of you are like so thrilled about that. But I know that it's hard, and I know that it's so difficult and can be very distressing, but it's so important at the same time. So if you have watched this far, I am rooting for you. I am in your corner cheering you on. I know how difficult it can be and how hard it can be, but thank you so much for watching. If you've gotten to the end, I really appreciate it, and I just really appreciate all of your guys' support. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you next time. Bye!